Hi, friends. How are you doing after the opera conference in Wilmington, Delaware? I don't know about you, but I'm really happy to be back into my neck of the wood and also back into my mom pants again. So, quite a few of new friends approached me right before the end of the conference and asked me, what is this company? What is this company you represented? So I was representing Taipei Opera Theater, and my title is the consultant of global relations. Um, anyways, this company was founded by Professor Dao Zheng, and this company is based in Taipei and in a country named, I don't know, because I call it Taiwan, but there is no country named Taiwan yet. All right. Do your research. So, anyways, back in 1971, Professor Zheng premiered the very first opera for a Taiwanese audience. And then he really liked it. He did more. And in 1976, he officially registered this company, Taipei Opera Theater. So over these years, okay, interesting bird. So Taipei Opera Theater has premiered over 50 operas for Taiwanese audience. A lot of times, especially in the earlier time, Professor Zheng would translate the Italian recitativi into Mandarin libretto for Taiwan for Mandarin speakers to understand more quickly. I still remember when I was in college, I studied with him, and then in our chorus class, we were practicing the chorus parts from L'Elisir d'Amore, and we sang "O ne mori no 变成了富翁." I still remember. So anyways, I'm Yuli, by the way. And if you call me with another Taiwanese language, you may call me Ut Ut. So that explains the UT spelling you may see sometimes. But anyways, usually you will see the U with umlaut, Yu. So I studied with Professor Zheng when I was in National Taiwan Normal University. And apparently I was the only one he took in as a voice major student from the undergrad division. I don't know why I asked him. I happened to the very last one as well. After me, he retired. And so anyways, when I was sophomore, he said, well, I am going to produce this opera, La Clemenza di Tito. And so, okay, that's interesting. And so he asked me if I would try to audition for one of the roles. So the very first role I sang was Annio from La Clemenza di Tito. And then after that, I sang Dorabella in Così fan tutte. And then I played Cembalo in Don Giovanni. That was a later one. Before that was Dialogue de Caprenit. After Don Giovanni, also for Dialogue, I sang Mère Marie. And then after Don Giovanni, I sang Idamante from Idomeneo. And then, so Professor Zheng is still really active. And he also was and is the consultant for many different institutes. So at some point, he was overseeing or advising experimental theater that's under the branch. It's a branch of National Theater, and so for 1 year, I went back and conducted Prima la musica, poi le parole, and let me know if you know who the composer is. So anyways, and then after that, I think we did he got me back because I'm really good at memorizing really wacky things. I have this weird brain. So I went back and then I performed Judith from the Bluebeard Castle. Um, so that was the last opera I did with him, and that was like in 2011. And then I basically am based in the U.S., and so I fly back to Taiwan sometimes, and then I'll pick up random things to do. So Professor Zheng has got into a lot of things. First, he won the highest literature award you can think of in Taiwan. I have to find a name for you. I'll type it here. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so he won that award, national award, and and a few years back when I was visiting, he actually wrote ballet with the stories inspired by rocks and Taiwanese history. Some of them were dark. So that's about that. And if you look into this, you'll see that Taipei Opera Theater does not have a website. It does have a chorus, a very active one, in a Facebook page, actually. It's not even a website. They meet regularly, maybe weekly, and they put out regular performances, and the performances cover a really wide range. And the chorus members, I think a lot of them are not music major or professionals at all. They're just people who are really passionate about performing. And if you look into the company registry, there is an address for Taipei Opera Theater, and it is in Wanhua, Taipei. And that place is mainly to store costumes and props. And I'm now at the place that I'm trying to figure out what we should do with the costumes and props. So my current thinking is that hopefully we can find a museum maybe for permanent display, and we can have different productions shown and store the rest of them in a museum, or we can rent them out to other theaters, because there are a lot of other theaters in Taiwan that would do different scales of opera performances as well. All right. So then the question is, how did one person premiere 50 operas over these years? I'll save it for the next one.